Hi friends and family, and welcome to my first video of 2021. It is coming super late in February because I moved and school started back up and gotta get everything set up. But I have in my mind a very adorable Valentine's Day, very pink cut crease, kind of sparkly but not glitter moment in my head. And yeah, without further ado, I hate intros, so let's just start. Alright, now that I'm super close, I'm going to just take a little bit of this Viseart eye primer and put it all over my eyes. It is a clear eye primer, so it's not going to cancel out the veins in my eye. But because I'm going for a cut crease and I'm going to layer concealer on later, I didn't want to build up too much of that like oily product on my lid just to avoid creasing for all the hanging out by myself I'm about to do. And today I'm going to use the Juvias Place Wahala 2 palette. Looks like this. These like 2 rows are absolutely beautiful and the glitters are amazing, but I'm just going to be dipping into this super hot pink shade, this, a little bit more toned down one, and this brown shade. Starting by grabbing the hot pink shade. So now that I got a bunch of that hot pink on my brush, what I'm doing is I'm just going to find and stamp where my natural brow bone is and just start by creating the shape, dipping into the eyeshadow more and more, just to build up the color. Taking the color out to where my eyebrow ends, and that's where I'm stopping because at the end I'm going to want it just like one big extension for my lower lash line. Not focusing on blending by any means, I just want it stamped. Every eye is different, and the eyes on my own head are different. So where my brow bone wants me to like sink down here, I'm just kind of ignoring my follow the brow bone rule and keeping it, flat, just like this side. So now that I have the shade Too Much sketched out, I'm going to very lightly blend with the shade Yab with the smallest blending brush that I have. Now the blending technique that I'm using is I'm going to use scratching motions instead of windshield wiper motions. So windshield wiper is when I would have like a bigger fluffier brush and I would want to, circles, windshield wiper, but with scratching, I don't know if that's a real term. I'm doing is I'm taking it, I'm putting it flat against, and then I'm just scratching this edge, almost overlapping, to give it just a very gradient blend. I don't want to take away from the shape. I still want it to be obnoxious, for lack of a better word. Next, with my flat brush, I'm going to pick up the shade ASAP. What I'm doing with this shade is I am even more defined than the pink shade. I am just going to go on the very bottom, stamp out this color before I blend it out again. I recommend keeping it as neat as you can, but when I cut the crease and blend out the pink again, it'll be fine. It looks messy now, but we trust the process. So on the back of my hand, you can put a little foundation or a little concealer. Concealer is a little preferred just because you get the coverage, and since I used a clear eyeshadow base, I do have those veins. And with the lighter shades, I'm gonna don't want to cut them off. I don't want to cover them up. Brain work, personal preference. So I'm just taking this flat brush. I dipped into a little bit of my concealer and I'm just gonna carve out my eyelid, giving it a nice sticky base for the pigment I'm gonna put on over it. I always start by putting the concealer on my lash line because of the hooded eyes, and you know I do that thing is I like to make sure that I know how high it's gonna go. So I know how high to go and no higher. So I picked up that pigment on my brush, same brush I used concealer, and I am just packing it anywhere I put the concealer to just give my eye a nice sheen. Really quickly, I'm gonna take this Clinique Quickliner for eyes, Intense, and just tightline my top and lower lash line. Now I'm taking my Ciate Fierce Flicks felt tip eyeliner, and I'm just gonna do like a very small wing that kind of goes with the connection, but I don't want it to be too crazy. So with the felt tip, all I'm doing is concentrating on the wing, because I am going to be putting on magnetic lashes, and the glue is black and that'll serve as the rest of the eyeliner. Rolled up my sleeves because I ruined my white shirt, and that is why you don't wear white doing your makeup. Oops. Anyway, so I'm taking a little bit of this Elemis Superfood Glow Priming Moisturizer. It smells really good. I have been pretty much only using this primer since I got it in my BoxyCharm. I think it was the month of December, but it could have been January. I know for a fact it's not February because today is January. Today is February 4th, and that means my 23rd birthday is coming up. My birthday's February 9th. Thank you for asking. Yes, I'm excited. Yes, I still ordered a cake. Yes, it's just gonna be basically me eating it. Whatever. Isn't this primer amazing? Like, my skin's very red today. I think I'm just like really warm. But it really brought like a super glow to my skin. It looks amazing. So now we're going to put on foundation. The foundation I'm using is this Tarte Foundcealer. It has broad spectrum SPF 20 sunscreen. It's a multitask foundation. It does not match my skin tone. I thought I was picking up the Shape Tape concealer, if we're gonna be honest with each other, because gasp, I went and stayed with a different family for Christmas, and I was like, that's fine, I don't need makeup, so I'm just not gonna pack any. So there's a reason this foundation doesn't match my skin tone. It's a little bit too dark, and that is because I panic shopped at Ulta for a full face of makeup on Christmas Eve because I didn't bring any. And it's not that like I forgot to bring any, it's that I chose not to bring any makeup. Mentioned it to like a couple of people, and it seemed like I made the wrong choice. Not that anybody was like, sweetie, you need some makeup. It was more, oh, surprise, you always do your makeup on Christmas Eve. But I'm not with my family, so I thought, oh, maybe I'll just be like natural because I wore a onesie pajama. Anyway, I ended up getting it. I really like the foundation. A little goes a long way. It's just not my shade. The brush, I'm just gonna take my damp sponge and smooth out the skin. If you're in Michigan, restaurants opened on Monday, February the 1st. I'm curious to know if anybody's gonna go, you know, if anybody's like in a relationship. Are you planning on actually doing like a proper Valentine's Day date where you like go out? Or are you a stay in? Last year I stayed in with my boyfriend and everything was open, so there's no shame in doing that. I love to be in, but now, because I've been forced to stay in, I kind of want to go out. Now I'm going to use a concealer that's too light and attempt to counteract the foundation that's too dark. And a little trick is what I always do is I just kind of want my jawline to match. I don't really like, especially with the white shirt that I've already ruined. I'm not trying to ruin it again, so I'm just lightening up the jawline, even though my foundation is too dark. The longer I sit here, the drier my lips feel. Oh my lord. So I'm taking this Hanalei Lip Treatment, just putting a little bit there, and not bouncing out any under eye creases. I'm taking this pressed powder. It's just a translucent powder. It's the same Maybelline Fit Me powder that I have in loose form, but in powder, and just going to give my whole face a light dusting. Another thing that I bought on Christmas Eve that I actually was like, well, that was a good impulse purchase, is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. It was like one of those bronzers that if you were watching like beauty YouTubers before they became influencers, it was one that like everyone used. Now I'm going to take the Mary Lou Manizer highlight and highlight my face. Beautiful. Let's finish up these under eyes. So I'm just gonna take that highlighter and hit the brow bone and the inner corner, dipping into a little bit of that ASAP to blend out the black, a little bit of the Too Much to blend out the ASAP, and then using a little bit of the Yap to blend out the Too Much. Now I'm just going to blush up the cheeks and fill in my eyebrows. So I have lived on my own before. I lived with some girls that I met on Facebook Marketplace, but the house was owned by my roommate's dad, so it didn't really feel like having my own place, you know? Everything was like her furniture, her space. So now I would like to consider this like my real first time on my own. Like that was just like a trial round, I guess. But now that I'm like on my own, and I've been that way for a month, Am I hard to feed or what? I am having the most difficult time. I bought all of these mini chicken tacos thinking that I was gonna want to eat them. Now I don't, and thank goodness they're frozen, so I have like time. But today I looked in the fridge and I have 2 avocados and they both needed to be eaten today. So I had avocado toast for lunch, and now being the adult that I am, being as cheap as I am, now I gotta eat avocado again, and I just don't know what I'm gonna do with that. It's not the utilities, it's not the maintenance, it's not the cleaning, it's the feeding. It's driving me crazy. Now using the Tarte Maracuja Miracle Mist just to set my face. The brand Bella made these magnetic eyelashes, and they call it the Glamnetic. It comes with a Glamnetic liquid eyeliner that has the magnet properties to it. I wore them on New Year's Eve around the house, of course, and they were great. They didn't irritate my eyes or anything. And you can wear them up to as many times as you want, apparently, because you can just wipe them off, but you just can't get them wet. Not that I was really planning on getting lashes wet. And I just remember I put them on and they were so easy, but they're not easy that I can talk and do them. So be right back. So now I am just taking this Eyeko Rock Out and Lash Out mascara and hitting the bottom lash lines, the bottom lashes. My last step is lips, so I'm taking this Kylie Jenner lip liner in the shade Exposed and lining my lips. Now I am filling it in with this L'Oreal Paris lipstick in the shade Fairest Nude. And then I had an idea, I don't know how well it's gonna turn out, but I want to take that pigment I put on my eyes and kind of just like put it in the center of my lips, kind of like a lip gloss. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, on the back of my hand, put a little bit of this clear gloss and mix it in with the powder and see if I can create like a custom lip gloss out of that, just because the shade is really just a mica pigment. Just got a little mixed in with the gloss. And then just hitting the center of my lip. This is the finished look, my Valentine's Day look. I think it's very romantic, very glowy, like my skin looks, you know, like if I was to walk into a restaurant, which I may or may not do because of COVID, I don't know, even with the mask on, head turning in this look. I don't know, I haven't worn makeup in forever, and when I do, I haven't worn it to this level. I just feel really beautiful. So even if you don't have a Valentine, do your makeup. You'll feel like your own Valentine. I'm about to take myself out on a date, and by on a date, I mean I gotta go figure out what I'm gonna do with that avocado before it expires. And again, thank you to my friends and family for watching, and I hope to make more videos in my brand new apartment. All right, thank you, bye.